things that really intrigues me about the Piklopedia, aside from the fact that you gain a newfound respect for each of these creatures, just with giving a new perspective of how you see them with all these scientific facts, is the fact that they actually took the time to sneak in some pretty subtle dark humor with just Louis' notes about having to serve and prepare them. I don't know, it still gets me how that demented little goon actually can take on all these creatures and turn them into gourmet dishes. Really does have quite the culinary talent, don't you think? Hey, paisanos! This is ToonGamer23, and welcome back to Let's Play Pikmin 2! So, in the last part, we started to go through the Piklopedia notes, and to just kind of take some time to witness what Olimar and Louis jotted down in their personal logbooks about each of these creatures that we've encountered on our adventures in this game. Okay, so I've done creatures 1 through 41, so I stopped at the volatile Dweevil, because it was just taking a long time. Okay, so for this half, I'll be going through creatures 42 through 81. Okay, starting at the Toady Bloister and ending at the Titan Dweevil, the final boss. Okay, so we still got a long ways to go, so... Okay, so to kind of prevent myself from choking and from straining myself too much, I think I'm gonna kind of take a short break when I get to the midway point, like maybe just probably for the Clover or the Figwort. I'll probably kind of take a short break and then I'll come back to it for the rest of the lineup. Okay, so let's begin the second half of reading up on the Piklopedia with the Toady Bloister. Okay, let's talk some carrots in there, and they produce those cow sounds. Just whoever's idea was it to make those slugs sound like cows was genius. Okay, well, moving onward. Okay. Olimar's notes for the Toady Bloister. Toady Bloister. Molluskid minionicus. That's a mouthful. Mollusking family. This species of creature has yet to fully evolve from shelled mollusk to the more advanced bloister. Compared to the bloister, this creature is significantly smaller. The fact that its mandibles do not protrude as significantly as the ranging bloister is due in part to the fact that, like most mollusks, its vital organs are located deep within the creature's carapace. Oh gee, vital organs being located deep under the creature's carapace. I mean, it needs some defense in order to survive. Otherwise, it'd just be at the bottom of the food chain. Okay, so how would Louis serve them for dinner? Would he assault them? Boo! I know, that's terrible. Pan sear with herbs and oil until lightly crusted on the outside and rosy on the inside. Complement the savory flavors with a light and buttery cream sauce. Yum yum. All of a sudden I just am fancying some alien slugs for dinner now. Okay, so aha! The Wallywogs. Let me guess, Louis serves them eats the frog's legs? I guess we'll find out in a bit. Yellow Wallywog. Amphicarus frodendum. Amphituber family. Amphituber family. Ugh, sometimes I just hate these Latin words. They're just so hard to pronounce. This magnificent specimen has the brightest gold coloration and the greatest number of lateral spots of any member in the Amphituber family. This species seems to have lost some swimming proficiency with the evolutionary adaptation that granted it greater jumping ability. The Amphituber inhabits aquatic shallows, and shows an instinctive drive to jump upon and squash smaller creatures. So in essence, it just pounces on its prey. Noted. Okay, Chef Louis, how would you prepare a frog of this color?
Beer batter and deep fry for a down-home flavor, and you won't soon forget.
Ooh, down-home flavor, huh? Exquisite. Okay, so, beer-battered frog. Sure, why not? Okay, the classic Wallywog, which we encountered in the Forest Navel. And we did encounter the yellow Wallywog in the Distant Spring. But I'm just kind of clinging to the original Pikmin game. But yeah, both of these mainly were found underground. Well, the classic Wallywog underground, obviously. But the yellow Wallywog was found in the Perplexing Pool in this game. Okay, so let's get on with the cave dweller subspecies of Wallywog. Wallywog, Amphicarus albino, Amphituber family. It is believed that juvenile Wallywogs were once carried by underground current into caverns, where they thrived in the darkened habitat. This troglodytic species of Wallywog's coloration results from generations of cave dwelling and lack of sunlight. Comparative differences between the size and shape of this Wallywog and other species are thought to be the result of natural selection at work, choosing traits better suited to life in a subterranean environment. Okay, so yeah, just natural selection, Darwinism in Pikmin. Oh god, I just can't imagine how Charles Darwin would probably react with the creatures in the Pikmin universe. He certainly would. He certainly would have a field day. Okay, so... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right, I forgot about Louis.
Wallywogs are best ground up, shaped into a patty, and flame-broiled on a grill. Slap on tomato slices, lettuce, onions, ketchup, and slide the patty between a sesame seed bun for the ultimate beast burger experience.
A Wallywog burger. Delish. Okay, Wogpole. So basically the baby versions of Wallywogs. Okay. Almost forgot about Wallywog jumping on its prey, so yeah. Its parents are more into pouncing on prey rather than stretching their tongues, but they don't have mouths to begin with, so that's basically a no-brainer. Wogpole. Amphicarus frodendum. Amphituber family. The Wallywog spawns in early spring, laying its eggs on low-hanging tree branches and shrubs growing in or near lakes and ponds. Such unorthodox amphibious behavior is a defense mechanism, protecting the eggs from predation by blue Pikmin and water dumples. The Wallywog's wild hopping near the shoreline in early spring is thought to be a method of driving predators away from the Wogpole eggs. Okay, so yeah, that makes perfect sense. Papa and Mama gotta protect them babies. Especially from Louie. So how would he prepare these little hors d'oeuvres?
Wogpoles can be eaten raw, but they're much more flavorful when steamed or grilled. Also heavenly in risotto. Feel free to experiment with this lush ingredient.
Okay, so yeah, just all the yummy, delicious dishes you could come up with frogs' legs, or not legs, frogs. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so yeah, tadpoles in the Pikmin universe. Okay, so now on to the flora of the Pikmin universe. Specifically, the candy pop buds. No, sorry, I had to clear my throat a bit. Alright, so yeah, the heavenly colors of the flowers that helped us in our quest by altering the Pikmin types in tight situations. Okay, so lapis lazuli candy pop bud. Okay, so yeah, the blue flower for blue Pikmin. Lapis lazuli candy pop bud. Flora cobaltium. Candy pop family. No matter what color Pikmin is tossed into the bosom of this flower, it spits out the same number of blue Pikmin. This family of plant boasts soft, fleshy leaves, the scenery tendrils of which allow the flower to open and close repeatedly over the course of a day. Okay, so sinewy tendrils, whatever that word means. So yeah, not only do I need an encyclopedia, I need a freaking dictionary for some of these terms. Olimar, why you gotta bombard me with such complex terms? Oh, wait a minute. How would Louis prepare these?
This flower's tough texture makes it unsuitable for salads, but its bright blue hue makes for grandiose garnish. Grandiose garnish.
Alright, so yeah. Flower garnish, eh? Just to add a bit of color to your dinner. Sure, I'm good with that. Alright, crimson candy pop bud. Okay, so red hot candy pop bud flower. With the red. Suitable for planting red Pikmin, of course. Okay. Crimson candy pop bud. Flora refusia. Candy pop family. No matter what color Pikmin is tossed into the bosom of this flower, it spits out the same number of red Pikmin seeds. The Pikmin, the candy pop flowers, and the Pikmin onions are not easily explained by current theories of the xenobotanical sciences, and thus have not yet been appropriately studied and classified. Science is still an open book, even for Olimar. Okay, what about Louis, on the other hand? What does he have to say?
This spicy flower combusts upon contact with the tongue. Keep fire-retardant condiments within arm's reach.
Most specific... my so-called fire-retardant condiment will be ketchup. Or mayonnaise. That works too. Okay, golden candy pop bud for yellows. The mellow yellows. Golden candy pop bud. Flora Orumia. Candy pop family. No matter what color a Pikmin is tossed into the bosom of this flower, it spits out the same number of yellow Pikmin seeds. Current research has yet to produce any theories as to precisely what kind of interaction causes the Pikmin to change color to match the color of this flower's petals. Aside from video game logic, that's a mystery that I don't think anybody would ever solve. Okay, what does Louis have to say?
This tart flower's acidic juices can burn a hole through a frying pan. Eating it would be unwise.
Okay, so the yellow flower is acidic. Okay, you would think that it had some kind of connection with electricity, considering that yellow Pikmin are immune to electric currents. Or maybe it had some kind of fun fact about how it causes yellow Pikmin to be able to be thrown higher than other Pikmin, but whatever. I can only explain so much about these mysterious flora. Okay, violet candy pop buds. With the suitable for the purple pounders, but unfortunately can only be grown underground. So that means multiple caving trips to propagate a sizable army of purple pounders. Violet candy pop bud. Flora puniceus. Candy pop family. Research from our most recent expedition has confirmed the presence of candy pop buds in subterranean regions. Considering the microecologies this plant has been found in, one could surmise that it could be found in any cavern, regardless of geographic region. Tossing Pikmin into this flower results in the release of purple Pikmin seeds, regardless of the color of the Pikmin tossed in. This variety of candy pop contains robustly odoriferous oils. If candy pop flowers could be cultivated, there is no doubt that the plants would offer multifaceted benefits to the cosmetic, medical, and tourists industries. Okay, another fascinating discovery for scientific research. Just like the rest of them. Okay, ivory candy pop bud. For the tidy whiteys. Ivory candy pop bud. Flora niveus. Flora niveus. Candy pop family. Research from our most recent expedition has confirmed the presence of candy pop buds in subterranean regions. Considering the microecologies this plant has been found in, one could surmise that it could be found in any cavern, regardless of geographic regions. Tossing Pikmin into this flower always produces white Pikmin seeds, regardless of the color of the Pikmin tossed in. In many cases, plants with small leaves typically have limited photosynthetic capabilities, and thus must find alternate means of obtaining nutrients, with parasitic and predatory behavior being most common. The candy pop could be considered one such example. Okay, so yeah, just needs gather its nutrients from any means necessary, which is kind of a bit of a lie, considering that the certain areas and caves explored, well, at least in the Awakening Wood and the Emergence Cave, there was sunlight seeping into these flowers, but then again, there was some ivory and violet candy pop buds found in even deeper floors in the subterranean complex. Oh, wait, almost forgot. What does Louis have to say for the violet and the ivory?
This convenient purple flower secretes a dark, flavorful oil that emanates the need for salad dressing.
Alright. So, exquisite violet candy pop bud salad dressing. Not too shabby. Okay, and for the ivory, what does Louis say?
This elusive flower spoils within seconds of picking, making it unsuitable for cooking.
Okay, so don't pick these flowers or else they'll go bad instantaneously. Okay, the Queen Candy Pop Buds with the ever-changing colored spots. So yeah, whatever you throw a Pikmin in, it'll change into the color corresponding to the dots on the flower. Queen Candy Pop Bud, Flora Regina, Candy Pop family. This specimen constantly changes colors. When Pikmin are thrown into it, it shoots out seeds that match the flower's coloration the moment the Pikmin landed inside of it. The number of seeds shot out is always greater than the number of Pikmin thrown in. It can be said that this is a completely baffling plant, and many mysteries remain over precisely what sort of relationship it has with the Pikmin. It would appear that the Pikmin gain all of the benefit from the relationship. Perhaps it is simply a different variety of Pikmin to begin with? Who knows? But that's not important. How would Louis prepare this in a dish?
Eating this flower leads to spectacular, breathtaking indigestion.
Okay, so yeah. So only certain species of candy pop bud are suitable for cooking or culinary experimenting. Okay, so number 52, we have the creeping chrysanthemum, the flowers with eyes. Okay, so yeah. Okay, come on. Have some carrots. They're good for your eyes, after all. It don't really help with your depth perception of actually going after. Yeah, this guy's hopeless. Well, that's kind of a good thing. If it really was that bad at catching Pikmin, we'd have better luck with him in our adventures. But what's past is past. Creeping chrysanthemum. Taraxacum rovinia. Chrysanthemum family. Like Pikmin, the creeping chrysanthemum is a member of a group of creatures with ambulatory root structures. This creature is known as a mimic, but because it is actually a form of plant, this label is not entirely accurate. For unknown reasons, the creeping chrysanthemum's mimicry does not fool Pikmin, perhaps because they share a similar heritage. It relies on preying upon other creatures to provide sustenance, so it has no need of leaves for photosynthesis. Generally speaking, the role of plants within an ecosystem is as a producer species, and thus plants are generally found at the bottom of the food pyramid. However, on this strange planet, the line between producer plants and consumer plants is blurred. It's a world of eat or be eaten. So yeah, it is just confusing AF. Just who is the prey and who is the predator? Are they carnivorous plants or are they vegetative plants, so to speak? Alright, so Louis. How would Chef Louis go about this?
When thinly sliced, this predator's sizable bulb makes a sumptuous pizza topping.
Chrysanthemum pizza! Yum yum! Okay, Skitterleaf. Okay, so these little guys were completely harmless. They were just trying to defend themselves. Okay, so yeah, we took out 24 of them. Almost feel sorry for these guys. They had no way to really defend themselves, but what can you do? It's survival of the fittest. Skitterleaf. Rus pseudoarbicans. Skitterling family. The skitterleaf is a relative of the pond skater that shed its wings and adapted to life on the ground. With no residual traits of its airborne past, the skitterleaf can neither fly nor skid across the surface of the water. The wings have since evolved into the leaf-like structure on its back, which serves to hide the skitterleaf through mimicry. It appears quite effective, as few predators can see through this clever disguise. It even fooled us once or twice during our adventures. So yeah, that's what it's like up close. Just a couple of berry eyes. With just the stem for a nose, or proboscis. Okay. Chef Louis, what's your take?
The superb amalgamation of juicy meat and leafy greens ensures that the skitterleaf will be the new spinach.
Okay, skitterleaf spinach. Noted. Alright. So let's see. Okay, so we got 7 or 8 more. Okay, so... Ooh, the butterflies. Okay. Unmarked spectralids. So yeah, the elegant butterflies. So they flutter in the breeze. So yeah, just getting, just... can only imagine what Olimar and Louis' perspective when they're in the midst of these peaceful creatures. Just, I guess just for one moment they can actually forget about the dangerous world of Pikmin and actually be at peace with these butterfly creatures. Just a moment of peace. It's rare on the world of Pikmin. Unmarked spectralids. Finistari prismatus. Flitterby family. Well, they've got really interesting family names. When strolling through the forests of this planet, clouds of these creatures are seen dancing overhead, like flower petals drifting in the breeze. Like flower petals drifting in the breeze, the sight of flitterbys dancing in the lush green undergrowth is unforgettable. Flitterby collectors drool over specimen sample boxes lined up in order, highlighting the slight color gradation changes from blue to red to yellow. Such items fetch particularly high prices at auction. Okay, so yeah, they've thought about capturing and selling these creatures for money, but it's not too different from the humanity. Greed is greed, I suppose. Alright, so what does Chef Louis have to say for these?
Spectralids don't provide a lot of meat, but the exquisitely elegant wings are surprisingly tasty, particularly when expertly prepared with a sweet candied glaze.
Okay, so yeah. Louis thinking about eating the butterflies. But, more specifically, you can down them and kill them off for nectar and, if you're lucky, even some bitter and spicy spray doses. If you get lucky. Ah, the honey wisp. So yeah. He's, mysterious creatures just appear out of thin air. But if you just attack them, more specifically with Pikmin, it doesn't really work with carrots. They'll drop their egg sac and give you some nectar. Okay.
Honeywisp. Nectara fatuus. Honeywisp family. This floating life form drifts effortlessly on the winds. Upon death, its physical structure instantly collapses, and as the creature is particularly elusive and difficult to catch, no sample specimens have been acquired as of yet. If we could simply recover a live sample, research on this species would likely proceed more smoothly.
Good luck with that. They come and go as they please. Just drifting in the breeze. Just without an inch of cheese. Okay, I'm no good with rhyming, just... Okay, Chef Louie, what you got?
Although the eggs are small, the yolk has a distinctly bold and tangy flavor. Try tossing a few in a pan along with your choice of meat and fresh vegetables and cook up a country scramble.
Alright, country scramble. Yummy, yummy. Honeywisp, honey in my tummy. Okay, ooh, the Mamuta! So, yeah, you would think that these bruisers would just... with how hard they actually slam Pikmin into the ground, that they would actually hurt them. But apparently they're beneficial in helping them bloom. So yeah, is it rock texture or is it fuzz on that bulky body of his? Okay, well we'll find out in Olimar's notes, most likely.
Mamuta. Unknown. Unknown family. The imbalanced, asymmetrical arms of the Mamuta are among its most notable features. Feeding on seeds and fruit, the Mamuta is known to actually sow and grow plant species. While other species have exhibited seed-bearing behavior for the purpose of storage, the Mamuta is the only species so far known to actually cultivate fields of plants.
Fascinating. So yeah, this creature is actually also known as the God of Pikmin. Alright, so is it their... So do Pikmin actually come from this creature? If that is the case, how so? So many mysteries, so little time. Okay, Chef Louis.
Inedible. Tastes like chicken.
That is the most alien thing I've ever... So yeah, let's not forget that Olimar and Louie are indeed different species altogether from humans, so... I mean, we love the taste of chicken, but Hakatations may find it revolting, so... no accounting for taste. In this world or any other world. Okay, the bread bug, the little waddling, little dumpy little Betty bugs just waddling around, just searching for spoils to carry back to its hole. Yeah, these little things are just cute in a derpy sort of way, just waddling around the wilderness, just trying to find sustenance. Okay, so Olimar, what you got?
Breadbug. Pansaurus glutenae. Gluttony.
That's right, it's gluttony. It's... Anyway. I mispronounced it as gluten, but you would... since it's called bread bug, that's probably a very easily made mistake.
Pansaurus gluttinae, breadbug family. The adult breadbug competes for many of the same food sources as Pikmin, but its thick-skinned hide allows it to withstand most Pikmin group attacks. However, some researchers claim to have observed breadbugs being overwhelmed by massive numbers of Pikmin and reduced to food.
Alright, speaking of food, Chef Louie, how would you prepare bread bugs?
Bread bugs are hardy and nutritious, but also bland and unimaginative. They may be palatable in a pinch, but they hold no true culinary promise.
Well, excuse you, Mr. Refined Taste. What, bread bugs don't taste good enough for you? Is that it? Huh? Whatever. Okay, pellet posy. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Okay, so 102 pellet posies down, but for good reason. We needed these to cultivate our Pikmin numbers. Alright.
Pellet posy, Amplus nutrio, pellet weed family. In the stem of the pellet posy, one can observe the muscle fiber unique to half-plant, half-animal species such as the Pikmin and candy pop flowers, so the pellet posy is a species that can be considered a close relative. Although the ability to crystallize nectar is unique to a small group of the pellet weed family, the fact that these plants reach maturity so quickly and that their pellets contain such high concentrations of the natural nutrients in the soil explains why the Pikmin and so many of the other indigenous species are so reliant on these pellets for sustenance.
Okay, nutrient-filled pellets. And they help boost Pikmin numbers. Even more so if the color matches the color of the onion they're carried to. How quaint.
On a quest for the perfect hors d'oeuvre? Slow cook this plant in a wood fire oven, but be careful to only serve the tender pellet.
I'm assuming that's because if you cook it in an oven, the rest of the plant will be poisonous or something? Yeah, or that too. Inedibility is never an option. Okay. The common glow cap. At 59. Okay, so we got a glowing mushroom. Which we saw all the time back in the Forest Navel in the first game, and more so in the underground areas.
Common glowcap. Fungi luminarium. Glowcap family. The light emitted from this rare mushroom is neither a reflection nor a release of stored light. It grows not only on decomposing trees, but also on soil and rocks. This mushroom's fungal filaments are capable of stabilizing and concentrating pure Hacatadium 111. Hacatadium 111. It is none other than the Hacatadium 111 approaching the point of critical mass that causes the glowcap's blue luminescence. Okay, so apparently apparently Planet Hakatate has its own periodic table. Okay, so Hacatadium 111. So yeah, apparently that element exists in their world. Okay, what does Louis have to say?
Rapturous, fresh, or sauteed, this illuminating fungus will be hot in the galaxy's trendiest restaurants.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it's not just food, but also just the culinary atmosphere that Louis researches on. So yeah, I think he'd be more fitting to be a chef than an actual treasure hunter. Okay, so Clover. Okay, so yeah. Wonderful Clover, it's never over. I am just not creative with I tried to be clever with rhymes, but it just they're pretty hit and miss. But okay, so yeah, clovers. Can you find the 4-leaf in there? Probably not.
Clover. Quatrius infectum. Clover family. This is a naturalized species. Naturalized species. These plants are extremely persistent, and with the assistance of a symbiotic fungus that grows on its roots, the species is able to survive even in drought conditions. Typically, its leaves come in groupings of 3, but intense impact on the leafing stem early in the development cycle can result in an extremely rare 4-leaf cluster.
Alright, so yeah. And just like with humanity, grab a 4-leaf clover, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck. And yes, pennies do help too. Okay, so Louis, notes on the clover. What you got?
Mildly poisonous. May result in nausea, headache, fever, fatigue, chest pains, paralysis, loss of bone density, moodiness, feral rage, sauciness, dilly-dallying, strokes of brilliance, and untimely doom.
Yeah, okay, we'll just put that as a maybe. Okay, so last one. Okay, so we still got 61. Okay, so we got 20 more specimens to go, but I think I'm gonna just take a short break so I don't strain myself like I did in the last part. So I'm just gonna kind of take a quick breather, maybe get some water, and we'll continue onward with the figworts. And before too much longer, we'll be tackling the bosses of the game. Alright, so I'm just gonna take a short break. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. And one thing that kind of intrigued me was that I always thought that the Mamuta was just made of solid stone, but apparently, according to Louis, it tastes like chicken, so apparently it's not solid stone. It's it just kind of has like a stone textured exterior, and I guess the inside of it just kind of is inedible, or maybe he's talking about the skin. But anyway, let's continue with figwort. Okay, so yeah, this beautiful blooming flower. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, mostly found in the Awakening Wood and in certain underground caverns.
Figwort. Scrophularia xenomium. Figwort family.
Yeah, try and say that 10 times fast.
This plant offers an excellent example of a non-native species introduced into the ecosystem by some unknown method. Upon introduction, it quickly established a foothold and adapted to the new habitat. This plant's distinct flowers usually exhibit a stunning blue color in early spring, but recent fieldwork has recorded specimens displaying a deep red hue. Although this may represent a sudden deviation in genetics of the species, the red coloration is much more likely an anomaly. Additional readings suggest no significant atmospheric or solar radiation changes have occurred in the ecosystem, leaving open the possibility that soil composition and mineral deposits may have affected petal coloration. Okay, so interesting. So apparently these figworts are not pink flowers by default. They're blue, apparently. Okay, so Chef Louis, how would you prepare this?
This titillating ingredient tastes impossibly fresh, but you must cook it immediately after picking. If you don't, it'll go bad within minutes.
Got it. Just do it as a... Just use it as a garnish. Okay, so now on to the quote-unquote new specimen, which was basically just the specimen that was left out of the Piklopedia. I had to spend a day in the Awakening Wood just to get it into the journal, just to get it into the Piklopedia log. To get its entry in. Okay. 62, Dandelion. Just, your humble little yellow weed flower right here. It's elegant, if not ratty.
Dandelion. Taraxacum officinale. Or, Taraxacum officinale. Dandelion family.
Okay, so yeah, just... I don't really care about the Latin term.
This perennial grows best in locations with full sun exposure. Its flowers boast countless tiny yellow petals packed together in a head. The species seems to have as many weed-like variants as petals, so more detailed research on these plants would best be left to a botanical research specialist.
Okay, so yeah. Olimar is not a botanist by nature, but he never asked to be when he crash-landed on this planet, so... But life works in mysterious ways, so...
Young leaves are only suitable in garden salads. Use the flower to add color to your dishes.
Okay, so yeah, the majority of these are either salads or just for garnishes. But yeah, just, yeah, I can see that. A decorative garnish for an exquisite dish, I guess. Okay, 63, Seedling Dandelion. So yeah, we also saw these out in the Awakening Wood. Okay, so yeah, it's... Okay, so yeah. There's honestly a few of these starting to grow in my front lawn right now. So yeah, talk about perfect timing.
Seedling Dandelion. Taraxacum ventulus. Dandelion family. It is believed that this plant produces tufted seeds with a parachute-like arm, which allows the seeds to ride gently on the wind. This increases the distribution range of the plant considerably.
And pluck one and blow the seeds into the wind and make a wish. Whether it'll come true or not, just depends upon fate. But, that's just me. Okay, Chef Louis, how would you prepare it?
Dried, roasted, and finely ground. The root of this plant makes a passable coffee substitute.
Okay, so apparently Hakatatians also know what coffee is as well. Okay. Fun fact. Okay, horsetail. Okay, 64, the magic number, is, it's kind of, look more like pussy willows, honestly. Yeah, exactly, those things. Okay.
Horsetail. Equestrius vindico. Horsetail family. This variety of horsetail is prevalent in regions with low nutrient content in the soil. Unlike most other plants, this particular species propagates itself through the release of spores.
Okay, so yeah. So I guess this thing is part fungus, I guess. So yeah. Spores. Wonders of spores and fungus, I suppose. Ooh, foxtail. Okay, so yeah, it's a little tuft of bushiness on a plant.
Foxtail. Vulpes cauda. Foxtail family. This plant remains erect after withering and losing its color, so we can only hypothesize about the true color of the plant's plumage. However, local soil analysis indicates trace amounts of dormant seeds, making it not hard to imagine that the area was thick with these plants in the summer.
And apparently this one fellow survived to live another day. Okay, so yeah. Nature is grand. It's merciless, but every now and then, just one single specimen lives to tell the tale. Alright. Chef Louis, if you please.
Inedible. Plagues victims with potent, debilitating cramps.
Okay. Okay, oh yeah, I forgot about Louis' notes for the horsetail.
Remove and discard the primitive scaly leaves, then blanch the tender stalk in a buttery broth.
Okay, yum yum. Okay, so. Ooh, glow stem. Comes in 2 colors, specifically in underground caverns. More specifically, the metallic structural underground sublevels. With all the rusty, rundown metallic structures.
Glowstem. Nocturnica illuminati.
Not that Illuminati.
Glowcap family. Although they're obviously unrelated, the glowstem bears a striking resemblance to the streetlights on Hecate. It is highly possible that glowstems could be a relic of some unknown civilization beyond the scope of our imagination.
So does that mean that there were some more microscopic beings that discovered this planet before Olimar crash landed here? Okay, that's kind of creepy theory right there, but whatever.
Inedible. Known effects include uncontrollable episodes of impromptu breakdancing.
Okay, so yeah, apparently, I guess Louis tried tasting it himself, and then he just broke out into breakdancing. So the effects were, I assume, only temporary, but still though. Okay, Margarets. So these are the harmless flowers, the harmless chrysanthemum flowers.
Margarets. Luminosus creoseus. Chrysanthemum family. This plant's delicate yellow flowers often inspire waves of nostalgia, giving a bittersweet feeling to any who gaze upon them. Okay, so yeah, just, wonder if Olimar had any bittersweet memories of, stuff. Besides him crash landing, I'm pretty sure that his bittersweet memories of possibly never seeing his family again would be a pretty devastating blow. But still though, did he have like any lost loves or something, or any regrets in the past, or just memories that he just wishes he could get back, choose differently? It just really kind of opens up a lot more questions with the psyche of Olimar. Okay, so how would Louis prepare these?
Can be eaten fresh out of the soil, but is much more flavorful when incorporated into a heavenly veggie lasagna.
Alright, so yeah, even the veggie options sound tasty. Okay, Fiddlehead. Okay, so yeah, this little plant right here with just the swirling tendrils. Not really sure if I actually saw one of these in real life. Probably not, but it's possible. Fiddlehead. Violine orchestras. yeah, exactly. This violin orchestra. Okay. Fern family. At first glance, this plant resembles the spring used in the ship's sublight engine. Many of its most primitive characteristics remain intact, including its habit of spreading through the dispersal of spores. Okay, so that's interesting. The spring used in the ship's sublight engine. Okay, so... yeah, I just love the personal notes that aren't really anything significant or important, but it just gives you a deeper dive into Olimar's psyche about certain aspects of certain flora and fauna that connect with him on his journeys, and even his ship and his company, his family, his life. It's just the tiny little details that really bring out the human version of Olimar and Louis. Okay, speaking of Louis.
Sun-dry the leaves for several days, then grind them with a mortar and pestle. The resulting herb grants an aromatic, earthy flavor to mutton and poultry dishes.
Ooh, yum yum. Sun-dry, grind them. Okay, so an earthy flavor to mutton and poultry dishes. Okay, so even though Louis stated that the Mamuta tasted like chicken, apparently there's, I don't know, maybe some, like, intergalactic species of chicken on Hakatate. Like a chicken from outer space, perhaps? Yeah, just thinking outside the box again. Shoot! 69. Oh, shoot! Okay, so yeah. Just a regular old shoot. Just shooting them carrots and shooting them in the breeze. Okay, so. Shoot. Unknown family. This is a young shoot of some kind, but what kind of tree species does it belong to? What shape will it take when it matures and grows to full height? Unfortunately, we are only able to obtain information from our portable scanners on a select few of the countless number of species we've encountered. But even if our expedition yields only brief observations, on the life we encounter, it will still provide a better understanding of this bizarre planet.
Yeah, just bizarre is an understatement in the world of Pikmin. That's why it's the world of Pikmin. Anything goes here. Okay, what does Louis say?
Inedible, and yet strangely delicious.
Okay, so I'm guessing he just kind of just gnawed on the leaves and just kind of just tasted them. Nah, it's just my thought. Okay, so that'll do it for the flora section. And now we come to the bosses that we've encountered in this game. Alright. So yeah, these are surprisingly valuable cadavers when we defeated them, so... Okay, so starting with Empress Bulblax, the very first boss we encountered. We sadly lost 15 Pikmin to this behemoth, but their deaths were not in vain.
Empress Bulblax, Oculus Matriarcha, Grubdog family. Initial observations placed doubt on the capability of the Grubdog family to support a strong ant or bee-like social structure, but recent studies show the family is capable of such complexity. The egg sac of the largest female grubdog within a given range swells to dramatic proportions in response to environmental changes, such as the sudden depletion of prey species. These females temporarily take on the role of pack matriarch. Also, in pack formation, it has been observed that nearly all males not involved in species production undergo natural sex changes. The characteristics of such specimens are quite intriguing indeed.
So, they're hermaphrodites? The more you know, I guess. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's raining carrots, and this mama's not waking from her nap. Kinda for the best. Okay, so what does Louis have to say for this morbidly obese queen?
For a sophisticated delicacy, make a pâté de foie gras from this massively obese creature's liver and spread it over a sesame cracker.
Yeah. Okay, so, whatever pâté de foie gras means. I'll look that up and research it. Okay, this thing. God help me, the burrowing snagret was just the bane of my existence. Especially going into challenge mode, especially with Cryptic Cavern. Are you serious? Okay, so lost 4 Pikmin, but we defeated 9 of them, miraculously, so... Okay. Half bird, half snake, all menacing.
Burrowing snagret, Chiropodes anacondae, Snavian family. The majority of snagret species lie in wait to ambush and capture prey with a body type perfectly adapted to such hidden sudden strikes. It violently attacks small, surface-dwelling insects distributed across a relatively wide range. Subspecies of... No, wait a minute. Distributed across a relatively wide range, subspecies of snagret suited to the varying soil conditions have emerged, making the snagret the most geographically represented species besides the bulborb. Visually resembling the burrowing snagret is the burrowing snarrow, the range of which partially overlaps with the Snagret's range. While the two may appear similar when pulled from the ground, they can be distinguished by the presence or absence of tail and wing markings.
Okay, so there's another species called the burrowing snarrow, which we've never seen before whatsoever. And apparently, if you actually pluck these serpents, these bird serpents, you can actually identify their tail markings on their ends. So yeah, very fun fact there. Okay, what does Chef Louis have to say for preparing burrowing snagret?
Slice the serpentine torso into thin medallions, skewer on a metal rod with Hakatate onions, and barbecue over an open flame.
Barbecued snagret. Delish. Okay, beady longlegs. The classic of the Arachnorb family. And we also encountered him in the first Pikmin game as well. Good times. Okay, so we lost 9 Pikmin with this beast stomping on them, but we defeated 3 of them in total, so.
Beady longlegs. Pseudo-Arachnia amoralis. Arachnorb family. Although this creature is commonly associated with spiders, it is actually the result of a separate evolutionary line of insectoid creatures. Since a spherical body section supported by the creature's legs carries most of its internal organs, there appear to be no other features that would correspond to a head or abdomen.
Okay, so yeah, the thing that really got to me was the fact that this thing is just basically generic shapes you can build, and they were basically defaulted in any 3D modeling program. You just got cylinders and spheres all connected together, and somehow you made a boss with that. And the textures, there's that. Okay, so yeah, it's just... It just kind of, its design is simple, yet, it's super simple, yet it's very impressionable. It just leaves an impression on a generation of gamers. I mean, you take one look at this, you know exactly what it is, so... That's what I mean to say. Okay, so what does Louis have to say?
Poisonous. Consumption results in prolonged writhing and uncontrollable mirth.
Okay, so apparently this thing is poisonous. Great. Well, not so much poisonous from the outside, but I guess maybe its innards are poisonous to a degree. Okay, so yeah, just look at that. That thing just towers above you. Just stomping around, just showing who owns the turf here. Okay, so yeah. Look at that elegant creature. It's actually fun to watch from a distance, but yeah, just the fact that it doesn't have anything that's classified as a head or an abdomen. Just a bunch of spheres and just plain geographical shapes you could make on any 3D modeling program. So yeah, just simple yet easily identifiable. Okay, so now we got the king of bugs, the big daddy of all predators, Emperor Bulblax, who's honestly been nerfed a lot in this game compared to the first one, so So yeah, he was the final boss in Pikmin 1, but in this game, thanks to the power of the purple Pikmin, he's pretty much lost his touch. Alright. Don't get me wrong, he's still dangerous, but he goes down pretty fast, thanks to the purples. So yeah, we lost 14 of them, but we defeated 4 of them. Alright.
Emperor Bulbwax, Oculus Supremus, Grubdog family. The largest member of the Grubdog family is normally found buried in the ground, with only the stalks of its eyes exposed. This camouflage allows the predator to surprise smaller creatures and use its long, adhesive tongue to capture prey. The thick hide and angular hump give the organism a distinct rock-like quality. During the rainy season, moss grows freely on its hump, making it nearly impossible to distinguish this lethal predator from a stone.
Okay, so yeah. Oddly enough, in the first game, the thing that was sticking out from the ground was indeed its moss-covered hump. But in this game, only its eye stalks are visible whenever it's lurking and waiting for prey, so... I'm gonna assume that maybe these are the underlings of the original Emperor Bulbwax, because these guys are a lot smaller and weaker than the original one in the first Pikmin game. Okay, so yeah. I say that as it goes back to sleep. Just lie in wait for another victim to ambush. As long as it's not Louie. In either way, if it was Louie, you'd be screwed.
To prep the tongue for cooking, marinate in olive oil and chop into cubes. Stir in a pot with carrots, potatoes, and chives. Cover and simmer over low heat for several hours. Accompany this mouth-watering rustic stew with a hearty roll.
Okay, so he basically just cuts the tongue out of this behemoth. Wow. And then serves it up in like a pot roast stew of some kind. Yeah. Louie truly is terrifying when he puts his culinary genius into action. Okay, so now we got the lumbering giant bread bug. Okay, so yeah, this thing just waddles around, just a dumpy, loafy, silly little buggy, just waddling around, just searching for any spoils to bring back to its nest. Just, seriously, how could you... Okay, it's classified as a boss, but this thing poses almost no threats. The only way your Pikmin could die is if you lose in a tug-of-war against him. Basically, he's just looking out for himself. He's not really bothered by any multicolored little humanoids, little plant creatures. He just wants, like, some cookies or some crackers to nibble on.
Giant breadbug, Pansaurus gigantus, breadbug family. This gargantuan species of the greater breadbug family has a torso so perfectly square that it almost seems like it was formed in a mold. For a brief period after birth, the giant breadbug competes for food with smaller breadbugs, but upon reaching maturity, it seeks out much larger prey. This is the primary reason that the two species with similar feeding habits can coexist in the same habitat. Hordes of Pikmin appear to pose the only plausible threat to this massive creature's life.
Well, specifically if the Pikmin are chucked overhead and land on the top of his thick hide, or if you just drag him back to a ship pod and he just slams into the roof of the ship pods. That's the only way he takes damage. Okay, so what's Louie's notes about this dumpy big bug?
Although cooking this colossal beast yields a mountain of meat, every ounce of it is flavorless. Only suitable for intergalactic all-you-can-eat buffets.
Okay, so, yeah. So yeah, the good news is that's a lot of meat. The bad news is all of it is flavorless. Unless you have something accompanying it, I guess. Okay, so we only defeated one of these creatures on our journey back in Glutton's kitchen, so... Okay, so yeah, it's kind of a shame that certain ones of these creatures we actually got to face multiple times, but stuff like the giant bread bug, never really got to see again. Yeah, c'est la vie. Okay, the pileated snagrets. Only one thing worse than a snagret, it's a snagret that can hop around. Okay, so yeah, lost 6 Pikmin, but we defeated 2 of them, and we came out on top in the end.
Pileated snagret. Chiropodis ambulatria. Ambulatria. I cannot with these Latin names. Snavian family. This variety of snagret has the ability to both burrow underground and walk above it. Its earthly red coloration and distinct yellow ear and eye markings make it immediately recognizable. Despite featuring a chimera-like merging of serpent and avian features, the pileated snagret has poor eyesight for a bird, perhaps due to extended periods spent underground. To compensate for this, its nose features a thermal sensing organ common to many snakes, making it a dangerously effective hunter.
Okay, so is that thermal sensing organ within its beak? I'm assuming? Okay, so yeah, just super weird, natural phenomenon here. So seriously, who is the lucky bird to mate with a snake? Okay, so what does Louie have to say?
You haven't lived until you've tasted a mint braised snagret shank. Or, if you're feeling especially saucy, stuff a bird with a can of your favorite savory nectar. Throw it on the barbecue and let the juices mingle to make a mean beverage canister snagret.
Okay. So, I'm assuming that means that it can be... the inner juices of a specimen can be drunk as well. Okay, so sure, why not? Alright. Oh, Man-At Legs. The coolest boss of all. It's a cyborg. It's half spider, half machine, and it is all packing with an artillery gun. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, just keep firing carrots at it, and assuming it'll fire off its gun, so... Yeah, I guess the internet likes to call this gun spider, which is very appropriate. Okay, here it goes. Okay, I also love the ricochet, cartoon ricochet sound effects that bullets make when they make contact. It's super deadly, and it gave me a hell of a hard time in the secret testing range. But ultimately, I still consider this boss one of the coolest Pikmin bosses of all. I mean, seriously, it's just... How many bosses in Pikmin can actually shoot their prey rather than eating it or stomping on it? Okay.
Minute legs. Pseudoarachnia navarronia. Arachnord family. This species of the Arachnord family fuses with machinery at a crucial point in the maturation process, giving it the ability to fire energy bursts from the launcher beneath its orbular torso. However, the Manate Legs itself is not in control of this weapon. Instead, the mechanical portions of its structure appear to automatically acquire and attack targets. The Manate Legs has a gentle disposition, and as a member of the Arachnord species, it has no natural enemies. It is particularly difficult to understand why this species would develop such awesome offensive capabilities, leading to rumors among the scientific community that it was the machinery that approached the Arachnord and proposed a symbiotic relationship. Okay, so yeah, the greatest mystery of all. Was it a robot that fused itself with this poor spider and now it's just a slave to the machine? Is that it? Is this poor creature's entire existence just doomed to be at the mercy of its mechanical half for its entire lifespan? I mean, Olimar says it's just, it means no harm, but it's just, its machine part just shoots innocent prey. Just, that's truly tragic. Okay. What does Louis have to say?
Although the meat is a bit on the metallic side, the oil makes a mouth-watering gravy or lubricative vinaigrette.
Okay, mouth-watering gravy or lubricative vinaigrettes. So yeah, just the machine oil. Just makes for savory dishes, I guess. Okay, ranging Bloister. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't turn red or blue because there's no captains there in the vicinity, but yeah, its tongues are extra long. And so we got that characteristic cow sound effect, so.
Ranging Bloister. Molluscids predatoria. Mollusking family. This species of mollusk has shed its shell through the process of evolution. What appears as a flower-shaped protrusion on its back actually functions as its gills. The ranging Bloister ensnares small animals with its sticky tentacles, reels them in, and consumes them. Observers have noted that this creature exhibits a keen interest in flashing objects. It often tries to capture and ingests these objects. Researchers and explorers equipped with flashing identification beacons should be wary when in close proximity to this dangerous predator.
So in essence, it just swallows shiny treasures. But we already knew that, so. Okay, so we lost 7 Pikmin, but we defeated 2 of them, and they're actually pretty valuable. More specifically, its tail bulb is valuable. Because this whole creature just kind of melts into a gooey puddle after it's defeated. So, yeah, apparently that bulb-like tail is actually its gills. It's interesting. Okay, so yeah, just this brightly colored slug. This ooey gooey gelatinous slug just crawling about the face of the earth each and every day. Just asking God why it was born with such a meaningless existence. But anyway, that's how life is for certain creatures. Okay, Chef Louie, what you got?
The gills are best prepared deep fried in an herb and bread crumb batter. Also tasty poached and drenched with fine soy sauce.
Ranging oyster with soy sauce. Okay. So I guess it's kind of like a half sushi, half Japanese dish. Yeah, something along those lines. And here we have the infamous water wraith. The ghoul on stone rollers. So yeah, just combine Bubble Buddy from SpongeBob and give him the Flintstones cars rollers. And you have this abomination that is just creepy as fuck. And it is just unsettling with just its moans and groans. Just how it just trundles within the dark. And worst of all, if you don't have any purple Pikmin, it's invincible! So yeah, you better run when this thing shows up. Okay. We lost 14 souls to this unholy creature, so I hope we never have to see another one of these again. At least for Pikmin 2. I already know that it's gonna be in Pikmin 4, but whenever I get to that game, if I ever do a Let's Play of that game, is a mystery. Oh yeah, just the noises this thing makes is just unnerving. Oh yeah.
Water wraith. Amphibio sapiens. Unknown family. All that is known about this creature stems from a few sightings deep underground. All reported sightings feature the same core set of details. A giant, vicious form with a clear, hazy sheen, not unlike hard candy. One theory holds that it may be the ectoplasmic incarnation of a kind of psychic phenomenon, but as is usually the case with such theories, it is very difficult to prove. All witnesses report being suddenly overcome with fear upon sighting the creature, approaching a state of panic and near insanity. In fact, every report contains an inordinate amount of extremely vague details, which has led to suspicions that exhaustion and fear have caused some simple natural phenomenon to be viewed as a living creature.
Okay, so the mystery of the water wraith deepens. Is this thing for real? Does it come from an alternate dimension? Is it all in Olimar and Louie's minds? Is it real, or is it not? Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Whatever the truth behind this creature is, it is fear incarnate. If you don't have purple Pikmin with you, get ready to run before your entire squad is steamrolled into the ground. Okay, the segmented crobster. So yeah, oh wait a minute, what are Louie's notes on the water wraith?
Inedible, known to cause mass hysteria, followed by leg spasms and internal thunderings.
So yeah, I don't even think it. Not even the most insane Hagadation would ever want to eat something like this. I mean, it's mostly comprised of water anyway, but it's a ghoul or phantom on rollers, so beware. Okay, on to the segmented crobster. Another addition on the seafood platter. I suppose Louie's gonna have like some dipping this massive crustacean, having it steamed and served with a side of melted butter or something like that. Okay, so what does Olimar say?
Segmented crobster. Parastecoidea reptantia. Creep crab family. This gigantic beast is wrapped in a hard shell. In an atypical evolution, the right front leg of this creature is hypertrophic, taking on the function of an arm rather than a leg. Its asymmetric physical development is unique in the natural world. One unlucky explorer's incorrect conclusion that this creature adheres to a pattern of peaceful, quiet behavior led to an unfortunate incident. In fact, this beast exhibits intensely hostile, aggressive tendencies, aiming at prey and ramming them at full speed.
Okay, so yeah, this is what seems like just a gentle creature that's only curls up into a ball and tries to roll over any creatures trying to attack it. It's just self-defense. Is actually a show of aggression. But sure, it seems like a delicious delicacy for a seafood buffet. Isn't that right, Louie? Let's see what Chef Louie has.
Dessert meats are all the rage on Hecate. When the planet's finest chefs hear about the kind of sorbets, pies, and parfaits you can make with the claw meat on this sweet beast, they'll clamor for every morsel we bring home.
Okay, so it's more specialized for desserts rather than seafood. Okay. Okay, so that's surprising. But yeah, just... Yeah, see, you can even see its little whiskers sticking out of its little mouth. So yeah. Honestly, from a distance, this thing just doesn't really seem all that big of a threat. Just to kind of... But, yeah, if you take him on, just be prepared for it to come rolling at ya. Alright, next. Oh god, this! The Raging Longlegs. We lost 16 Pikmin to this beast. And we even lost some in challenge mode against this colossal beast with the humongous feet. Yeah, just it's black with purple markings. Yeah, this thing is ominous AF. Okay, Olimar, what do you have to say?
Raging Longlegs. Pseudo-Arachnia furiendis. Furiendis.
Oh, like in Fury.
Pseudo-Arachnia furiendis. Arachnorb family. Arachnorbs boast a wondrous biological composition with a silicon-based exoskeleton and innards coated with malleable heavy metals. However, much about these creatures remains a mystery, as specimens regularly explode when they are dissected. These explosions produce scorching flames that completely melt all internal organs, leaving us with a disappointing lack of information on the inner workings of the species. We must await the development of new dissection processes and more specialized research before we can better understand this enigmatic creature. However, the following observation notes have been recorded. Appears to be leveling terrain for some unknown purpose. Location of eyes and ears not readily apparent. Freezing a specimen may yield new research opportunities.
So in essence, this thing is one giant black and purple mystery wrapped in hostility whenever it's attacked. And, what about the tufts of fur on its feet and even on the point where its legs connect with its torso? Just like I said a while back, there's just so many mysteries and so little time to solve them. But the thing we all should know by now is to stay the hell away from its feet, because it'll just basically stomp on every single one of your Pikmin in just one single step. It's even more dangerous when it starts throwing a temper tantrum, when it starts raging, obviously. I mean, how do you think I lost that many Pikmin to this thing? Okay, last but not least, the coveted Titan Dweevil, the final boss. So yeah, last but certainly not least. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot what Louis has to say.
Neither boiling nor baking can diminish this creature's overpowering musky scent, only suitable for serving to unpleasant in-laws.
Okay, so yeah. Serving up this, whatever it is, to just unpleasant in-laws. If you really got a mother-in-law that really gets on your nerves, serve her up this beast. I really love those little jabs and the sense of humor. Okay, as I was saying before, last but certainly not least, and number 81 is the Titan Dweevil, which is not so threatening or menacing without its chrome exoskeleton or its gadgets that it's used in order to massacre our entire army. But we did lose 5 when we did come across this behemoth.
Titan Dweevil, Mandarachnia gargantium, Dweevil family. The largest member of the Dweevil family, this fearsome predator carries protective components that frequently exhibit offensive capabilities. An evolution that may be attributed to mere chance. Another evolutionary theory is that the chemical contents of the containers carried by Titan Dweevils contribute to possible gene splicing. While other Dweevils do not seem to choose the objects they carry, the Titan Dweevil appears to prefer shiny objects above all others. Shiny objects.
Okay, so yeah. Let's view Louis' notes.
Eaten raw, this predator's luxurious legs are bold and full-flavored. What a satisfying crunch!
So that's a heavy implication that Louis was the one controlling this beast during the final battle. And given the fact that he was the one who ate the golden Pikmin carrots, which led to Hakatate Freight gaining having an insurmountable debt, is also a big indicator. He just wanted to straight up kill the captain, Captain Olimar, and the president, so they wouldn't catch him, so he wouldn't be caught. So he would have no evidence or witnesses to realize what he had done. Either that, or he just wanted to keep the Titan Dweevil all to himself to eat. But still, that's pretty messed up. Alright, that will do it for the Piklopedia. It was a long, tedious process to go through all of the notes and just read them aloud. But I honestly had fun. Just reading all these specimens and just the interesting science facts and just the funny ways that Louis just serves all of these creatures. And, yeah, just even, getting to know all of the, even the, Louis' notes about the segmented cropster were surprising. I mean, just, you would expect seafood, but, apparently the meat of this crab-like creature is sweet. Who knew? Alright. That'll do it for the Piklopedia. Okay, so now we go on to the Treasure Hoard, where we have a staggering 201 entries. So yeah, this one's gonna be even longer. Okay. So we will start off the Treasure Hoard in the next parts. So, it's been fun setting up on the flora and fauna, but now it's time to study up on the treasures. So the Treasure Hoard will be in the next part. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and if you would leave a comment and or like, that would be most appreciated. Until next time on Pikmin 2, this is ToonGamer23, signing out. So yeah, just, you would really think that, just tossing Pikmin carrots, I mean, it doesn't really, give, these example bosses any chance to actually show off their moves, which is kind of a bummer. What can you do? But at least we kind of got to know a bit more about these creatures and just the ways that they could be served up in flavorful dishes. And I'm sure in future Pikmin installments we'll have something similar to that, but as from somebody who hasn't even touched Pikmin 3 or Pikmin 4, and I'm ashamed to admit that, I still don't know yet. But I'm pretty sure I'll have a similar experience in those games in the future, if I ever get around to them.